I think now that I've done greed mode once, greedier is now an option. No. I don't actually know what unlocks greedier mode. Unless that's finishing greed mode as a whole, which is to get to 999 coins in the greed machine. Which is why I saved so much. I could have gone for even more power, but I was good enough. The main thing with greed mode, because Ultra Greed has the same armor as Hush. I don't know if they're the exact same stats, but it's the same type of armor. So it just makes sense to go for defense, because go for obscene attack and it will just adapt. You can do it in bursts, but Brimstone is one of the worst things to take against that kind of armor. What you want against it is high hitting and reasonable fire rate. High fire rate doesn't do much, low fire rate is just low fire rate. One exception is Guppy's flies, specifically from Guppy, any fly spawner, but Guppy especially. Because blue flies like that, especially at that rate, completely melt through the armor. I don't know if it's because it's not accounted for or because they're not tier damage, but they only seem to be bonus damage on top. They're never really added into the calculations. Also, I don't know whether or not you'd have seen it, because it doesn't exactly broadcast it, but that little 0% next to the greed machine on the HUD, not in-game, on the HUD specifically, showed the chance to jam. The more you win greed mode with one character, the more you do greed mode with one character, the higher the chance to jam is. To emphasize swapping around, but it is annoying when you just want to play. And there goes Lucy. It is annoying when you just want to play. Especially if one character seems to be suited for it. And then it's just not good. Either way, this is Lilith. She she is the summoner of the game. She can't attack by herself, she has to use familiars. Which means that going down the route of taking the knife and then keeping it rather than using it is actually beneficial to Lilith specifically, more than anyone else. I could have said that in such a different way to make it flow better, but oh well, I said it how I did. A lot of people don't like her. I do. I understand what the problem is with her. It's that she doesn't attack from herself. Her follower is an incubus, which is an item you can unlock at some point. I don't remember what you need to do on her to unlock it. Why are they diagonal from each other? Go vertical and horizontal from each other. That works. I think I actually lost a full heart then because I was hit by the champion. That's less fun. Again, I don't like the seller. The enemy set just doesn't work for this early in the game, at least in my opinion. Yeah, the Incubus is just offset. You just need to drag it around a little bit more. Aside from that, it is basically just the same stats. It is literally a copy of you. The only thing is Box of Friends just makes complete sense to take on her. No, I'll do normal path, which actually means I can use this here. That's fine. I did kind of want health back, and luck is always good. Yeah, it can be odd, but also the other thing she has, which is Cambion Conception, is either get hit 15 times or lose 15 hearts, I don't remember, and you spawn a random devil-themed familiar. The other... Sure, there was no way I was getting out of that with my speed, and... well, I probably could have, but those enemies are never fun in groups, especially with how they spawned in that shape. But yeah, no, Stella is just not fun. It is what I would consider, not anymore because of Repentance, but Rebirth to Afterbirth Plus, it is what I consider to be the hardest floor in the game. Because it's first. Not because it's specifically the hardest in terms of its enemies, but just proportions and placement. Like, I have the same stats as normal, but this spawner has already had time to make all of this, and obviously I should be focusing on it rather than these, because leaving it alone gives it time to do more. That worked out anyway. But yeah, Box of Friends does this. Add a new set. It isn't a double, it's +1 of each familiar you already have. So if I were to use it again, I would get a third, not a four. Can be pretty good. Here it's pretty much just double damage, assuming every shot hits. Get enough of them and you can literally just fill the room, which is always fun. That was very close. I dodged that weirdly. Kind of proportionally, I consider Stella to be weirdly hard for its place in the game. Genuinely just stand still, but there's no fun in that. Ow. Maybe I do that route for fun. No, Lilith is weird enough, and I'm not practiced enough in her currently. And this is the only thing, is because of how different her attack style. That was my fault. But I could easily die here, especially after I say she's not as hard as people say she is. But no, when it comes to the difference in her attack style, it does make getting cornered easier to have happen to you. For her, and her specifically, the... I don't remember what it's called, but basically the trinket that pulls all of your familiars close to you. And actually, I guess the other one that makes them all orbit you. They could both be very nice on her. And specifically against these... I don't remember what they're called, but the stone things. Yeah, having some kind of spectral shot or piercing shot is always useful against them, because they... It's like they're designed to get in the way of your shots. I'm getting hit a lot, so this is fine. But I don't exactly have much health to work with anymore, so hopefully nothing bad happens. Sure. Well, worth a try. This trinket allows you to bring randomly selected things from the floor down to the next floor. So if there's anything you want to bring but you can't carry up, have it on the floor, and either it will, if it's the only thing, Well, there's a chance it will if there's multiple. Ow. That's good. Being hit just then was very stupid. Is this... I feel like this heart isn't actually open. Oh no, they are. No, press the thing. I don't know whether or not the micro-friends thing can actually be duplicated. And now I'm dead. I won't find out. At least it's not the cellar again. Dodge one, hit the other. It also doesn't help I'm playing hard mode. And exclusively playing hard mode. Apart from the challenges, but they don't exactly count. You don't really get to choose your difficulty in them. Yeah, that was, apart from having no health, actually a decent run in this. Oh well. Pretty much entirely because of Pentagram. Maybe it could be worth trying to play the game with a controller. People have said it's actually better than you'd think. And then once they got used to it, they never went back to another way of playing. Which could be true, but also I played keyboard for an extremely long time. Since the start. I tried controller like once and thought, that's interesting, and then never went back. But the interesting thing is that there is actually one item, which I forgot the name of, that is... Oh. I have keys, and there's a shop somewhere, and maybe this will result in... Maybe this will result in anything. Thinking about other streams, though, something I've noticed is, and genuinely don't understand, unless it is literally just for malicious intent, the people who go around on Twitch asking for multiplayer. Because you say no, and then they just disappear. If they actually wanted to play multiplayer, surely they would go to the communities. No, what's even worse than that, and luckily I haven't had it, I'm sure I will at some point, is people who then act like they're giving you a favour. Harry Jr. Oh yeah, right. I forgot, they reordered it, so it always actually tiers them in order. I think. I feel like that was a change that was made in Repentance. I genuinely don't know, I haven't really played Lilith in Repentance at all. That's a lie, actually. I have. She is one of the few things I've done with the other path. Not this path, the other path. The Depths path. I do actually, yeah, specifically remember I have done that. Also, it's great how you have Acid Baby, and I'm pretty sure it has a very, very low chance to actually give any pills. Unless it literally has no chance to give pills, and I'm making that up. I don't know. I don't like it. Having to use pills to get its ability to poison the whole room seems kind of odd. What kind are you? You're a 4. That's a reroll. I need a bomb. There is a Mark Truck over there. Come over here. There we go. I also need the bomb from that. Well, for that. So yeah, that was entirely my fault. Oh no, it does have a chance to get pills. And Aquarius, sure. This might help in the whole, getting hit. No, actually getting hit as Lilith is arguably a good thing, because of Cambion Conception. These stone things are stupidly annoying though. They're literally... I feel like they were designed to be the perfect distance from you, to have that just not work. Now they got the one back. Faded Polaroid, which I believe is when you're in a room with enemies, you temporarily turn invisible every now and then, which stuns them. The effect being, or meant to be, that you turn invisible. So they can't find you. But I don't know if there's any enemies that can see through it. This time, I'm not going to be hit by a stupid green fly. I do need to remember I have that that reroll available. Oh, and there's also a Mark Rock in here. Nice. See, that was easy. Hills, I will probably reroll. And in here, there is something that will kill me because I can't get to it. That's stupid. I would take Infested Baby, but I physically can't get to it because Sulfur is in the way. And yeah, I'm going to go reroll this bag of pills. Prawn Baby would have actually been an extremely good item to have right now. Never mind. Now, I am noticing that in terms of items, Incubus, sure, actually speed is useful. Incubus isn't counted as an item, I'm assuming because Lilith permanently has the blindfold, which I don't remember the name of. So removing that would be stupid. Yeah, also, yeah, that blindfold is a state, not an item. I don't remember if I've said that before or not. I somehow doubt that I'll be going for Boss Rush, but if I do... Bomb for bomb, don't care. I was giving it a bit of time to see whether or not he would... see whether or not he would attack near the rocks, but he just didn't. Yeah, Aquarius is kind of nice. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I should have a decent amount of damage right now. I say that, and then I completely miscalculate how many shots that'll take. But that's just about right. Sure. Actually, sure, because I'll double that too. Sure, sometimes bouncy shots. Aquarius is nice with charges too. Because drown charges, I'm pretty sure the exact... Is that what blistered up? I thought blister was bounce shots as in rubber cement. Is it knockback? I genuinely didn't know that, if that is what it is. I don't know. Well, there's nothing in this room anyway. Ow. Well, at least Smartfly's going out to murder. Maybe I should make a second. Maybe this is what Blister does. I've always just assumed from what it says that it's bounce shots, but it's just like low chance. Because I don't use it, so I don't really think to actually pay attention. But no, literally none of these shots are bouncy. It must just be high knockback. That's interesting. It's a double room, which I think means double trouble, which is a thing that the more updates and DLC there's been, the less often it ever actually happens. It seems to be extremely rare now. I've pretty much found everything. I'll just move on. Yep, it's a double trouble. Thank you, game, for spawning that on me. I really liked the moment when the Duke of Flies appeared on top of me. That was a good moment. Ear size, sure. That's the problem with non-telegraphed spawns. Oh. When things just appear and then they magically just hit you because you happen to be standing in the wrong place. Health up is good. Whether or not it's actually health up, I don't know. At least stuff like health up, well, health down pills have been designed in a way where they can never actually kill you. No, that is 100% what Blister does. In that case then, go away. Because I feel like that'll actually end up hitting me more than you would expect. Sci-Fly would be very interesting with Lilith, actually. I don't know whether or not... I think it's called Sci-Fly. I don't know whether or not it's a default unlock, or whether or not it's... a default unlock. A default item, or whether or not it's an unlock. I don't know. I actually don't remember. I know I've had it before. Again, thank you for spawning that on top of me. That could be useful. And it's immediately going in the corner. And this is, yeah, one of the few problems with Lilith is actually hitting things at a distance. It can be hard to aim. Because while the shots do still have their deviation based on movement, it can be hard to actually translate that into the familiar. Which can be a problem. And of course I get hit there and there. So, like the first run, it just falls apart immediately. Take the damage. There we go. Or just don't. Oh, and there's some more over there too. Of course there are. And then whack-a-moles in a 3-room. Which means they can spawn literally anywhere. I'll keep going left. Oh, this will end well. In a room where you can get pushed around by some stone thingies. My shots already don't start from where I am. There we go. I was going to say I haven't found the item room yet. There it is. I'm surprised I didn't get hit then. Also, making very low money. Smell pennies, you might want to go to a doctor if that could be blood. Probably should have re-rolled that rather than just bomb it. Anyway, now I have money. And actually, yes. I definitely want that. Well, with one heart, I'm going to attempt to do the boss. It's Summoner Gurdy, so actually shouldn't be that bad. I say that, and then of course, because it's Gurdy, ow. One of the shooty fly thingies spawns behind her. For some reason, they just always do. Finally, a meaningful stat upgrade. Now, getting hit on Lilith is a good thing, but yeah. Well, now instead of a 3-room charge, the thingy is a 2-room charge. I could genuinely make it to the boss rush during this time. I doubt I will, because this run isn't good. It's not the worst it could be, but it's not a good run. There isn't much in the way of stuff. It's not really... Thank you, keyboard, for making it so I just didn't move. Which means that one death in Risk of Rain 2, where I felt like I couldn't move, could genuinely not have actually been because I went into a menu, held down the button, and then the button didn't activate because I thought I closed it faster than I did. It might have genuinely just not pressed. Or rather, I pressed it and it just didn't. Because that was in the middle of holding it down and it just stopped. Luckily in a room with no enemies, but it is this game, so I can believe anything would happen. Like that, I had the choice between going and getting shot, or going and getting rammed into. And that's tears down. Again, what I said about this run not actually being a good run. Because it's not. And it'd be nice if I could actually hit things. I basically have to put the incubus directly inside the enemies. There we go. And it's still not dead. No reason to go to the shop, I don't actually have enough money. Well, I could buy one thing, but oh well. That's a nice spawn, to have the enemy that can charge at you from across the room just in the corner, directly in line with you. I don't know how obvious it is that I'm slowly going from "this was a good day to stream" to "oh yeah, this game, the one where things just kind of appear in front of you and then you get hit." Which isn't an exaggeration, that literally happened earlier. Went to fight a boss. It was actually a double boss. One of them decided it wanted to just spawn on top of me instead. And of course, the fun of shots going around enemies rather than on them, because you're fighting using a familiar rather than yourself. And then other things like an actually extremely helpful familiar that you can't get because it's behind effectively a paywall, and then if you took that and then the item you want, it would literally just kill you. Just for spite, yes. I do like this game. If I got hit then, that would have been my fault, because I should have remembered they were there. But no, I do like this game. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be playing it. But there are some things about it which is just annoying. Certain design elements, which have luckily stopped being added, because there's a difference between challenge and stupid. But there's some design elements which just don't make full sense. Or just seems to be against the idea of fun for the sake of a kind of challenge, rather than because it's actually hard. Like the ability... Well, like basically all of my complaints about the cellar floor being a floor 1. Spiders are some of the worst enemies in the game. That entire section of enemies isn't fun to fight. Just because of how they move and how some of them are extremely unpredictable. Which is fine when they're alone or with others of their kind, but when you decide to put them in a massive room full of flies and other things, on floor 1, where you literally have nothing, that one was my fault, then no, that isn't fun. Or like these enemies, where, yes, they are a take on the, I want to say hoppers, which are like the jumpy ones, unless they're called hoppers, I don't remember. The jumpy ones, except covered in blood, and then, oh yeah, I got hit enough for a little brimstone now. Yeah, the ones that jump around and are covered in blood and can walk around the room, but they're telegraphed by shadows, and then they fire out tears. Like, sure. Except make them into basically mini squirt shotguns. I don't have a trinket anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, turn them into that, and then give you 12 of them to fight. Or the swarm spiders, which you can get on floor 1. Or like just then, little charging things. I don't remember what they're called. But a charging variety that will dash at you from the wall across the room. So put 4 of them in a tiny room, all offset from each other. Certain things like that, to me, don't necessarily make sense. In that there's... Oh, another double trouble fight. At least I didn't have a boss spawn on me this time. Also, if I get hit, I die. I'd just like to point that out. Oh, it does actually group the enemies, not the enemies, the familiars together. Now. And actually... I feel like I did read that in the original changelog for Repentance, but I don't think I ever actually took it in. That's a good thing. You know what? Sure. It is Uriel, so that's fine. That was also a gamble, seeing which angel it would be. This one you can just go behind, though the angels are programmed to always try and fly above you. Literally so you can't just stand behind them, I think. I'm going to bomb there, and there. And also, yeah, this is the last run. I've already done several, and I'm not doing any more after this. Because of time, and also just because I don't want to. But mostly time, because I probably would end up doing another one, which doesn't mean try and convince me. That doesn't work, and it basically never works. I will do something when I want to. Yeah, these enemies, but they charge at you. I think I will go in the curse room. Partly because of Cameo Conception. That was a massive waste. No. That was bad, and that was mixed. Yeah, no, in terms of Lilith, runs, this isn't a good one. It's only been made good within the last floor because I now have a car battery. Speaking of enemies who are able to just appear on you, luckily didn't get hit just then. I genuinely don't remember what this does, and I already have enough range anyway, so I'll just take it. Also the other battery. That is also pretty good. This is Debts. Yeah. No, I consider this to be possible to getting to boss rush. That isn't going to happen. Well, literally one to go. I'm not going to do that, but I will take the card. Could be useful. I'd rather have the full, actually. Higher luck stat is always nice. Higher luck does mean more angel tears. Well, holy shots. No, a lot of what I said isn't even necessarily because I'm playing on hard mode. It's just, I might as well do this for him. It's just design choices of the game. Because they would still happen whether or not you're in hard mode, because hard doesn't change. It doesn't change much of the design, it changes more stuff to do with... That's 2 item rooms in a row I should have just skipped. Obviously you don't know that until you go in them. Yeah, it doesn't change much in terms of design, it changes stuff like tear speed from enemies and other bits like that. There was no reason to come in here. And then I got hit anyway. This money is useless. Well, potentially not useless if I can do this next boss, the next floor, its boss, the floor after that, and its boss within less than 5 minutes, but I doubt that. Because this is already a very slow run that really isn't going anywhere. That was pretty good. Well, now to not get the double chance because I'm going to get hit. Yep, there it is. Well, I'm gonna go up. So, in saying about this run, there has also been barely any opportunity for health as well. So, hits have mattered a lot more. And also doesn't help that a lot of the items have been not useless, but I either shouldn't take them because they would replace something extremely better than them, being Box of Friends, the thing you spawn with as Lilith, and also the items I have taken have all been terrible. Apart from, like, 2.
Range down.
Because something interesting, which applies to multiple games in general. Well, yeah, games in general, but especially the roguelike and roguelite genres, is people say it's about your skill, the items don't matter. But try doing a purist run in Risk of Rain 2 and tell me how that goes. No items allowed. Just you and the character's abilities. This game is the same. There's a reason it's called a challenge in the challenge list, where item rooms physically don't spawn and you're not allowed anything. Literally, I'm pretty sure the challenge is literally get to... It might even be the heart, actually. With no extra items. Pickups and things are allowed, because they're not items. But, yeah. Runs in this game are very luck dependent. Bad runs do exist. You can turn a bad run into a good run by being a good player, which, as far as I'm concerned, I am. But you can't turn a bad run into a good run. You can just have them be better than they otherwise would be. Bad run is still bad, whether or not you magically somehow do everything on it. Oh, there was the world's tiniest piece of barely visible creep there. Like, the only good items in this run are the damage up, which I think was synth oil, yeah. Torn photo, holy shot, car battery, and the other battery. You could remove practically everything else, and I doubt much would have changed. Well, somehow I doubt I'm gonna do Mega Satan on this run. Because that requires actually not getting hit. There could have been a mark drop there. I don't really care anymore. I'm not going to bother checking. I say that knowing that I will actually go check after the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if I actually just don't and I move on because I forget. Yeah, like, how am I supposed... Aside from going all the way up here, as Lilith, I don't understand how you're supposed to do certain things. You don't fire from yourself, you fire from your stuff. Dead Sea Scrolls. That would be entirely pointless. And I don't have any charges of my thingy, so I'm going to have to do this with one of each. And I used it in the boss fight just then because I genuinely didn't think I'd actually do the boss fight without getting hit. Oh, there's a hit. If I get hit again, I die. The thing with the angels is hands behind their wings means diagonal, hands in front of their wings means horizontal. Problem is that the hands behind the wings can also mean a tearing. So you can't necessarily even use it as... I'm just going to use this now. You can't even necessarily use it as a guarantee. There are many enemies like that. Krampus is one of them. But then I found a lot of enemies in this game are difficult because they're unpredictable. That was fun. You choose between taking damage or taking damage. That was an entirely pointless room. Oh, this is the room I die. Yep. Well, that's the end. I had a win. Well, I did the challenge, did the one of the Apollyon runs, and did Zazel Greed mode. So there have been 3 wins. Now those... I say 2 Lilith runs. Basically just 1. Weren't good. I don't know, stuff like that is why, say, Enter the Gungeon has telegraphed enemy spawns, so you physically can't just have an enemy appear on top of you. Funnily enough, a lot of what I've said are problems is actually the exact problem with Delirium, one of the other final bosses. At one point, it was literally able to teleport directly on top of you and just deal damage. For no reason apart from it just felt like it. It was dialed back, it still can do something similar, just not literally directly on the spot you're on. It can appear right in front of you, which means that you'll have basically no time to react and you'll walk into it, which is slightly more fair. And there's just stuff like that in the game, which I think is actually part of why I'm not playing it more. I'm playing it once a week and that's about it, and that once a week is this. I don't really want to play it more than this. Which is an interesting cycle, because playing it more would mean that I would get back into it properly. I had the same problem with Risk of Rain 2 a while ago. I say a while ago, probably about a year ago actually at this point. Where I was mostly just playing it for streams and I was only like 1 of them or 2 of them a week. Which I think it was only 2. And then, because I wasn't playing at any other point, I wasn't maintaining the skill level as much as I thought I was, so then it became annoying because it was, well, why isn't this thing happening? And my brain was telling my hands to do it and they just weren't. So I'd imagine it's the same with this. But then also, this game is odd. The further you get and the more you unlock, simultaneously, the easier the game gets because you earn the higher power items and unlocks, but also the harder the game gets because as you go, difficulty increases. Arbitrarily in some places as well, like sticky nickels. I haven't got them in this file yet, but past a certain point, one of the unlocks is genuinely just you have to earn 5 coins by bombing them. I'd just like to point out 2 things. You're a bit late in saying that. And also... No. Well, no, in saying that, that I died. I've also been talking about it for, 4 minutes at this point, I think. You're a bit late. No, there were several wins earlier. It was just Lilith runs. They did not work for the character. She is one of the characters who can either be extremely weak and awkward, or overpowered. And there's no real in-between. That run had barely any access to health, and the enemies, especially early on, just did not favour Lilith. Especially the stupid stone fatties, which I'm going to look up what they're called. I'm assuming they're in here, even though I haven't technically killed one yet. But I don't know if it's just seeing them. But no, I have not tried Halo Wars 2, and I don't really want to. Halo is a game series I've never really gotten into. I've known people who've had them. Well, one person. And it was kinda good. I think that was 2, 3, and 4. Though I think he had 1 through 4 and several others. Is it not in here? To get them as an entry, do you literally have to Chaos card them? Okay, because this is the bosses. In Delirium, this is the thing I said about. It's 4. Encounters 205. That's incorrect. Does it? Because it has to despawn and respawn every single version of Delirium, does it actually count them as each individual encounter? That's funny. I'm going to assume that hits is... Oh, that's a little blob, not Beelzebub. That's the anti-birth name. I'm assuming hits is the number of times I've been hit by them. Surely that doesn't work for certain enemies. Yeah, I genuinely don't have them in the bestiary. Oh well. At least I don't think I do. This is the first page. No, most of my hits in this game are stupid things that shouldn't actually hit me. Like the bomb fly, or boom flies, and the exploding spiders as well, are mostly because of short range. Well, actually, no, in terms of being good at the game, near the end of the Lilith run, a lot of the movement I was doing was very good. Inconsistently, because I'm not practicing this game currently. I might play it more, I don't know. No, either way, I'm just doing stuff, like at the end of the Risk of Rain 2 ones, where I just kind of fill time. Not to actually fill time, but because I find the stuff genuinely interesting. Like, in terms of my stats, I've only died 15 times. That's not much. But when you consider the number of runs I've done, which is... I think that was 4 today. Challenge. Read mode. No, challenge, Apollyon, greed mode, Lilith. 5 actually. And then, how many have I done? That's the wrong drive, not this drive. I've got a lot of windows. You double click on the drive and it just doesn't open. I am counting how many runs it's been. I think I'm on 40, that's 43, so I've done 48. That's 15. So yeah, 15 deaths out of 48 runs. That's not actually... That's not bad. Then you go over to my other file, and I'm sure the death count is much higher. Yeah. Best streak, 7. But then also in this file, I've done a lot more. And a button I'm not going to press. Though it was there, and you may or may not notice it's missing here. This is something I'm leaving. But no, I was just working out stuff. But I'm not sure why the Mom Kills is 28. when I have done 48 runs. Yes, I do. It's because that's heart kills. That's different. Yeah, in terms of endings, I only have 2 left. In terms of the endings of the game, I only have 2, which I know what that one is. I don't know what that one is. Unless that's greedier modes, but I feel like that's just the same as greed mode. I'm not sure. No, I mean 100% in terms of these. How many secrets does it say I have? 191, and there are 637. It's quite a bit. But yeah, no, I am going to end now anyway. Because I've done several runs. Some of them successful, some of them were not. Lilith mostly. Though I did technically still... Oh no, actually I didn't, because the first mark is the heart, actually. Yeah. Oh well. I might start with her next time, actually. Because she's not actually necessarily that hard. Yeah, either way, I am now going to end. So yeah. Thanks for turning up. So it was in the last run. So yeah. Bye.